All right, we're live. What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Mark Evans. DM here coming to you from Parkland with my boy, Sean Whalen. What's up, Sean?
Dude, what is up?
How you doing over there, man? Thanks for coming on. I know it's a little early over there, but I appreciate the dedication.
Top of the morning, baby. Top of the morning.
I know, right? So, guys, we're here. We're going to have a lot of Q&A. What's up?
I got to get my picture.
Uh-oh, there it is.
Keep going. You got to check this out. Keep going.
So, guys, as we're here today, beautiful Monday. Hope you guys are doing awesome. Hope you had a great weekend. I'm excited for this week. Today is my daughter. Friday is a big day. We got the new book coming out, Magician vs. Mule, at 12:34 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Plus, it's my amazing daughter, Dria's birthday. She'll be 1 year old. What's up, Jeremy? What's up, Adam? What's up, guys? Ernest, what's the DM stand for? Deal maker or dream maker if you're my mother. What's up, guys? What's up, McLeish? So as I'm sitting here in Parkland, Florida, we got Sean up in Utah over there hanging out, doing his thing. Uh-oh, what's he got?
Look, son, you got to be on a fucking cool list to have this shit. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You got to get a screenshot of that.
I love it, man. It's awesome.
Someone set this right here. Yeah.
Perfect.
What's up, my man?
No, man. So, Sean, I wanted to have you. I mean, obviously, we got a lot of craziness going on, and I like to talk about the real talk stuff. I know a lot of people are a little delusional as to what they think's going on or what they're hearing, as you know. And listen, I'm not here to say that COVID's not a real thing or not a real thing, but is it being blown out of proportions? A whole different story, and why? So I just want to bring you on here. As you know, we got a lot of business people here. We got, you tons of business experience on your side, and still we're grinding every day. By the way, how is business over there?
Dude, business is booming right now.
I know, for us too.
It's doing really, really, really well.
That's
a lot
cool.
of people were like 6 months ago, a year ago, and I'm like, hey, y'all need to get your house in order. You need to get your business square. You need to be rolling. They're like, no. Now they're like, oh shit, maybe that guy was right.
I should have listened to him.
Listen.
Yeah. Well, so Sean, I wanted to real quick give a quick background. So Sean and I met on social media a while ago. I don't even remember how many years ago now. Actually, Sean wrote a book, How to Make Shit Happen. And so you're selling this stuff like gangbusters, which is awesome. But there's a section in the book where yours truly, look at that.
Only 2 pictures in that book. You got to tell the story, though. There's only 2 pictures in my book. No, it's not a coloring book, y'all. It's a good book. We just crossed 400,000 copies.
Nice.
But, there's only 2 pictures in the book. You want to tell the story? You want me to tell them the story?
Tell it, man. I like it.
Dude, the first time that Mark and I actually met, like face to face, where were we?
We were on a yacht in the Caribbean.
We're on a big-ass 100-foot fucking yacht in the Caribbean. Like, people don't believe that story, man. They're like, come on. Dude, what brought you and I together, I think, is just cigars, right?
Yep.
Like, somehow an affinity for cigars. You were in real estate. I bet somehow our paths crossed on social media. You like cigars. I like cigars. Mm-hmm. And we just started messaging back and forth like, hey, dude, you like cigars? What's your favorite cigar? Oh, what's up, man? I like these, right? And if you look at your cell phone or my cell phone, like, you're always texting me. I'm always texting you. I'm smoking a cigar. You're with baby DM. You're with D. Like, I'm rolling down the street. I'll send you a picture of smoking a cigar. I'll be like, dude, have a dope day. People don't realize this. Like, you and I literally connected through social media over cigars. And the first time that you and I hung out, and twice now on, multi-million-dollar yacht in the Virgin Islands because of social media. But that's the first time Mark and I actually connected face to face was on a fucking yacht.
Exactly. And it's just staying connected. I think a lot of times people are like, oh, dude, just shooting a message. It's not like, hey, Sean, what's up, man? I love your stuff. By the way, what's good about, and asking you 80,000 questions to lead. Yeah. It was more just like, yo, man, pick, boom, boom. And like we did this for a long time. It was, so we just connected and
adding value.
Go figure. That's amazing how that works, right?
It's funny how literally and this is what I love about our friendship is it just started like pure, like I didn't need anything from you. You didn't need anything from me. It was like, dude, I'd try a new cigar and I'd send it to you. You're like, I got to try this.
Yep.
You try a new cigar. You got me on the tobacs. Like, you got to try these tobacs. I'm like, holy shit, these things are fire, right? Yep. Just adding value back and forth. And then that ends up in, hey, dude, I'm going to be hanging out in the Virgin Islands. You want to come? And me and my girlfriend ended up coming down to the Virgin Islands and hanging out. And it was like, boom, here we are a couple years later,
Yeah. No, it's it's amazing what happens when you, like you said, that we just start adding value and talking and go from there. But guys, Sean, you've done real estate. Your story's amazing. Obviously, you shared the truth, which is why it's fire and people love it. But you want to talk about real quick about what you got going on, and we'll get the party started.
Yeah, dude, we're business is really good right now. I started LionsNOTSheep a couple of years ago in the midst of kind of my rebirth, if you will, coming from kind of a top of the mountain, crashing down, going through a bankruptcy, going through a divorce. And it's growing like crazy, man. Like it's really surprising, especially now, this whole virus shit, whatever we want to call it. It's really exposed a lot of people to a lot of things. And a lot of the stuff that I've been talking about the last couple of years is starting to make sense to people. People are kind of going, oh shit, maybe I should take my finances more seriously. Maybe I should put some cash in the bank. Maybe I should spend some time with my family. There's a lot of dads who work 15-hour days who are home with their kids now, and they're like, fuck, I don't even know these little fuckers. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's crazy. So for me right now, I'm just really, I'm really focused on adding as much value as I can, expanding my business, getting multiple things up and running that we're doing with LionsNOTSheep. It's a good time, man. We're having a lot of fun. I'm having a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think it's now. The time is now, and what you got going on over there. Because again, dude, you're talking real talk to people, like you said, on the finance side. You got LionsNOTSheep, guys. By the way, Sean, that's a monthly group that you host. You have a private Facebook group, and you're sending out amazing content weekly to via email letter. And you guys got to get on that.
There's a couple of different aspects of that. There's an online coaching group. We have about 650 people in there now. People all over the world, men, women, entrepreneurs, business owners. And then I do a lot of one-on-one coaching, a lot of one-on-one clients. Guy just came in the other day from North Dakota, oil industry. So it's all about kind of, reverse engineering. What I love to do is reverse engineering life. You and I have talked about this countless times. People are programmed how to build a big business, right? And then we try and fit our life into it.
Exactly.
I have time, I'll do this. And I did that, worked 20 hours a day, flipped almost 4,000 houses, burned my entire world to the ground. I was like 31 years old going, all right, is this it? Like, I got all this money and shit, and it's like I hate my life kind of a deal. So I'm really enjoying the process of reverse engineering life and building my life, figuring out how much I can play, what I want to play with, where I want to go, what I want to do, and then building my business, around that to serve that versus me serving the business.
Yeah, no, I love that message about, the business serving us. I think too, this is a fun game to play. I don't think people realize, once you understand that you're in control of all this and you can reverse engineer this life and build something that could serve you, it becomes a fun game to play. You can have money and you can have more money. You can have more time and even more time. All these things you can start really creating. And I'm not saying there's not some sacrifice on some of these pieces, but dude, you get what you want out of it. So if you're putting a lot into this effort, you're ultimately going to succeed at a whole nother level. But I love the gamification, man. 75 hard. I know you're doing that again. I just got done. Shout out to send you some pics on that. But I'm going to actually do a post today about it. But just doing it and just staying focused. I feel sad yesterday because yesterday was my first day.
Crazy, huh?
Yeah.
I say something about it, you're like, fuck.
I felt sad. I'm like, okay, I got to wake up and do something now. What's up with that?
Yeah.
But there's something to that when guys like us, because we're ticking along at such fast paces, even though it feels like we're not doing anything. How do we, what are you doing on a daily basis? I know you wake up, you talk about your morning ritual stuff. I think a lot of people could learn from that for sure. Yeah,
I love seeing the comments on here. Coaching groups, one of the best in the show. One of those coaching calls are insane. Lions didn't value. I love seeing that. Without going too far down the rabbit hole, when I went through my midlife crisis, whatever you want, I don't know what it means, right? I left my marriage. I left my business. I was fucking depressed. I became suicidal. I had everything that people determined success being, right? I had the watches, the houses, the cars, the whole thing. And it wasn't about the money. It was about me. It was about me grinding and busting my balls every single day, but not really knowing why, right? To buy all this shit. And I had all that shit. So it's for me now, it's understanding that my ticket's going to be punched, right? It doesn't matter how, and I love the business end of things as much as you do because it allows us to go to places like the Virgin Islands and chill on multi-million-dollar yachts, right?
Exactly.
But I understand that my ticket's going to be punched. at the end of the day, like we live in this world, this fantasy world, really, where it's like, you know, I'll do that when I retire. I'll do that, you know, down the road, or I'll do that down the road. You know, I was in Baja. I race, as you know, Baja trucks with my son. It was something that I saw a couple of years ago. My buddy flew me down there. I watched him and his son. He's very, very, very wealthy business owner here in Utah. And I watched him and his son cross the finish line of the Baja 1000. And it got me super emotional. I was like, fuck, man, like that's the game. Like, this is what I want to be doing with my son, who's a little gearhead, motorhead. He loves riding dirt bikes and anything fast, right? I came home. I knew nothing about it. I bought this race truck, and now we've raced Baja 500, Baja 1000. But you know, going back to your question, like, you could have $1 billion. You could have $10 billion. And imagine being on your deathbed. You've busted your ass. You grinded, hustled. I mean, shout out Gary Vee. Grind, hustle, right? All fucking day long, 27 hours a day. Gary Vee's working. I don't know how the fuck he finds all the time, but he's got it, right? But like, at some point in time, you're not going to be able to buy back the game. What are you talking about? This gamification, like, how much can I really enjoy life? How many dope people can I go on boats with? How many rad people can I smoke cigars with? Like this idea that we have of being able to build the life that we want. Where can I go with my kids? What races can I do? How often can I ride horses with my daughter?
Yep.
We're not programmed this way. And so for me, it was like reverse engineering, saying this is what I really want. Because if you have I can hand you $1 billion, Mark, and if you're on your deathbed, you can't be like, oh, well, I'm going to go back and I'm going to race this race. I'm going to go back and do this thing. Speaking about Baja, that's where I was going with that. It's still early in the morning and haven't had my cup of coffee yet. No, I'm down in Baja last year, and my son and I are in contingency, which is where our trucks go, and we get passed off before the race. And this guy comes up to me. Sean Whalen, I've been following on social media, the whole thing. Long story short, man, this has been on my bucket list for years to race this race. I was like, dope, dude, how do you do it? Well, I got some kids in college. You know, my son and I want to race, but he's in college, and I got a daughter in college, and I'm X amount of time, you know, away from retirement. And my wife and I, we want to buy this place down and whatever. And I was like, bro, I could introduce you to a company down here in Ensenada that for 15 grand gives you the race car, gives you the helmet, the thing, like it's an entire package for you to race the Baja, you know, 1000. Would you even know if your 401k, your IRA, your retirement account was 15K lighter tomorrow? Like if you wrote a check 15K, he's like, probably not. And I said, that's the difference between me and you. Yeah. You're like waiting for this moment in time when like now's the right time. And if you've noticed, Mark, you know this, everybody says that, and then something happens, or this deal, or the COVID-19 shit shows up. Oh shit, it wiped me out.
Exactly.
If you went broke because of this now, you were broke way fucking before this fucking pandemic bullshit. Well, my point is, like, that's the difference. Is I realized, like, I might not have another Baja 1000. I might be dead by next year. And if that's the case, oh shit, here's $1 billion. Can somebody buy me back this time? No, you can't. And so for me, the gamification is how much can I really like ravage this life and do every fucking thing that I want to do before I die? You know what I'm saying? How do I build a business that'll support that? How do I build a life and become the father that allows me the time and the resources to be able to do that? So that's that gamification for me, is how do I live as much of this life as I can?
No, I love it, man. I'm on the same page, dude. I for 11 years of my life, man, I worked 18, 20 hours a day. I loved it. I didn't know that it was wrong, by the way. I didn't know a difference. It's what I was taught. It's what we were taught. So I didn't realize that, but that's why I talk about that in Magician vs. Mule Shine. That book's coming out Friday. Drea turns 1 on Friday, so I'm on her birthday, so I'm excited for that. But I think the biggest thing what we're talking about is the chain of questions. Like Sean and I are asking different questions. The results speak for themselves. Like if you ask certain questions, you're going to get that result. Like we're asking, how can I do this and also have that? Not like, oh, I can't do that. You don't understand. But this, like, it's not even a question. You're actually talking into it, like saying, I can't do it. Like that's not a question. That's a definite. I can't. Yep. Like you can do whatever you want. Yep. And I think what people don't realize is it might take longer to get it, and it might be a different path. But the question is, you got to unlock it. You got to open up a conversation with yourself first and foremost, and then put it out to the world. Like Sean said, like, oh, it costs $500,000 to buy this race truck to do the Baja 1000 XYZ. Well, no, dude, for $15,000 it could be done. Yep. Now where's the excuse? Well, that's exactly the point. Yeah. You talk about asking questions. My newsletter yesterday, I do a weekly newsletter that goes out every Sunday. Was exactly on this when you talk about asking questions. I said that specifically in my newsletter. I'm like,
forget the virus, forget everything else, right? Forget all the aspects of like religion. And we can go down the rabbit hole of this. So few people ask any questions, period.
Right.
At all, ever,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I'm a father. I got 3 kids. And when your kids say, why? Because. Just shut up, because I'm the dad. Say, shut the fuck up. I'm 41 years old, and I ask why more than an 8-year-old, because I want to know. Like, I realize, like, the more I know, the more I learn, like, the less I really realize and understand what I really know. So it's like, I want to know, dude. I want to know, like, the depths of the mysteries. And this isn't some hokey pokey, airy fairy, like, rub crystals on your nipples bullshit. Like, where's God really? But, like, no, dude, what are we really fucking doing here?
Yep.
What is this game really about, right? Like, I want to know these things. I want to know, like, how I can build a better business, a bigger business, a more streamlined business, right? And what's fascinating going, like, with this whole pandemic thing, whatever you want to call it, like, no one asked any questions. It was like, yo, we're all going to die. Go in your house. And people were like, okay. They, like, ran and get in their house. Like, shit, shut all the businesses. Okay. Shut all their fucking doors. It was like, nobody was like, hold up a second. This coronavirus thing, it's been on the side of Lysol cans for 30 fucking years. What are we talking about here? Like, I was, no, you can't. You got to go now. And rip, everybody ran. And it's like, every aspect of life, the more questions you ask, the more you fucking learn. By knowledge, by education, by listening. And if you're not asking anything and not getting any feedback, like, how are you growing your business?
Yep.
How are you becoming a better father? Like, how are you building a more ripped body, right? Yeah. Your trainer, like, can I tweak this? Can I do this? My diet, whatever. What you just said is more on point than anything else. And that's the thing that's really fascinating, is how few people ask questions and how few questions those people even ask. It's not acceptable. I don't know. Don't ask. Don't ask the pastor why the book says this. Don't ask the business guy why this. Don't ask the potential client these questions. Kind of a deal. It's fascinating how scared we are to.
Dude, it is, but they've been teaching us because, right, the whole saying is curiosity killed the cat. Well, no, every business person I know, guys like you, dude, I'm more curious today than I've ever been.
Me too.
I just want to know, like, why did they use that word?
Me too.
You know, like, that word means something. The thought audit that we have, I talk about this a lot, Sean, like the thought auditing, like, where did this thought come from that I'm thinking this way or that way? Why did that come from my mom, my dad, my grandma, my grandpa, their grandma, grandpa, like, did they come from the Great Depression? Like, why is this thought even in my brain? And what like, listen, is it serving me? Is it not serving me? Is it good thought? Is it a bad thought? I mean, there's a lot of stuff here, but I think it's like, why did curiosity kill the cat? Why did they even say that?
Go back to it. And here's what's really scary. Anybody listen to this, you got entrepreneurs, business owners, the entire thing, right? If you think about, I mean, you and I are the exact same age, basically. Go back to when we were kids. We were programmed this way. Sit down, quiet down, slow down. I talk about this a lot with Lions Not Sheep. Like we were programmed to lie. We were programmed to be dishonest. Now, if I ask somebody, "Are you a liar?" Fuck no, I'm not a liar. Well, do you tell people the truth? No. Right. Well, because I can't talk about Trump and this and that and the other, right? But when you really stop and think about this for two seconds, like really contemplate this. We were programmed like this since we were little kids. We were programmed, dude, and I gotta give you a shout out. This is fucking legit. I feel like I'm on CNN right now. You got the thing and the ticker at the bottom. This is dope, dude. I like this.
You gotta use the system, man. It's amazing.
You up the game big time with this shit. But like, really think about this. Going all the way back to when we were kids, we were programmed this way. You ask mom and dad a question just because I said so. You hear that enough, then you just don't ask any questions. You go talk to the pastor, or the priest, or the bishop, whatever. I'm having these questions and stuff. Like, look, it's what God wants you to do, so just go do it. You ask a teacher, you raise your hand. It's because, right?
Yep.
Think through, like, that's how we're programming our kids. It's what we're like. It's how we are. So as we morph into these adult bodies and these adult realities, like, we just quit asking questions. We just start following the masses. I mean, again, this whole experience happening right now in our society is a really good indicator of that. Nobody asked any questions. Like they said, the government, the media, CNN, the whole deal, run off the cliff, and everybody just ran right off the fucking cliff, right? Not asking, why are we running off the cliff, or where's everybody going? We're just going this way, and everybody went. It's really fascinating thing, and I'm with you. The older I get, the more questions I ask.
Yeah. No, I think we got to, guys, you got, even if you have a job, like, like understand, like there's agendas for it. We all have agendas, and, perception's reality, and it's at its highest reality right now, the perception. And Sean, like probably one of the most bizarre things, this has happened 5 weeks ago, so it seems like forever, is the whole run on toilet paper. I'm still absolutely mesmerized by it. It makes no sense to me.
The run on what?
What's that?
What did you say? The run on what?
Toilet paper.
How do you say toilet paper?
Is that how you say it? Toilet paper?
Toilet paper?
Toilet?
You said it different. It was good. Keep going. I like it.
I'm a hillbilly, man. Quit giving me a complex. But no, like, I think at the end of the day, it's like, how, as a sheep, as you would say, is how don't they stop and say, well, you guys,
why am I talking
something else?
Toilet paper? Why am I poking out a fucking 87-year-old man to get a 4-pack? Dude, it just shows you exactly what you and I have been talking about for a long period of time. Yeah. I don't even remember a news article. I don't remember people going, oh shit, China shut down toilet paper. We're never going to have any more. And people ran out. I don't ever see that. All of a sudden it just became a fad, a thing.
Yeah.
Oh shit. And everybody was running out grabbing toilet paper. And it was like, does this thing make you shit yourself? Like, is my butt going to explode and I need like 8,000 rolls of toilet paper?
Yes.
Dude, it's really, really, really funny. Actually, it's sad, but it's really funny. And I think about technology and the power of the technology, but you ask somebody why they bought toilet paper, they can't tell you.
Yeah.
They won't be able to tell you. But what's fascinating is you ask a Catholic, an average Catholic, what Catholicism is, they can't really tell you. You ask somebody, well, what do you do? What do you mean, what do I do? You know what I'm saying? Like, how many people that have not stepped back? And this is something that I did a couple of years ago after I went through this entire experience. Like, what do I really want? Like, who am I? What am I really fucking doing here? You know what I mean? I ask myself a question every single day, countless times a day. What do you want? My clients know that this is like one of the main, like, foundational principles of my business is helping people answer that question. What do you want? Right. But I'll ask myself that question 1,000 times a day. I'm having this experience. I'm feeling this way. My girlfriend dumped me, blah, blah, whatever the fuck it is. I'm like, all right, what do you want? What do you want? Do you really want to punch this guy in the face because he just cut you off? No, I really don't want to punch this guy in the face. Like, what do I really want, But asking myself that question, I think what's really fascinating is, again, going back to the questions. Did anybody stop and say, why am I stealing this toilet paper out of this person's cart? Did anybody stop and say, why am I going into the porta potties and stealing toilet paper?
Oh my gosh. No, dude, I don't think people are trained to ask questions. In high school, I remember if I was asked a question, it's called cheating because I'm asking the person beside me what the answer is. Like, it's like there's no collaboration. There's no thought processing. There's no like, hey, you're better at math than I am. I'm better at English than you are. We should probably come together and work together and be bigger together. Yeah. Instead, they're like, no, this is your lane. Stay in it. Don't talk. Don't look. Just go. And it's like, well, where's the opportunity for collaboration here? And what I'm seeing too, Sean, is like a lot of people, insecurities have risen to the top at the highest level right now. People are constrained. They're freaking out. They don't know what else to do except to attack. Their insecurities are like, it's getting really bad. It's like it's going to take over. And I think as business owners, and it's not that business owners are better than anybody, but we have real insecure conversations with ourselves all the time. You've worked with a lot of business guys, and again, I don't care if they're making a lot of money or low money, you're still insecure. You're still having these anxiety attacks. You're like, oh my God, this is the one that's taking me down. Your heart's beating 100 miles per hour. So I think we do have a little bit more. What this comes down to, awareness, right? Like, why am I feeling this way? What did I do? Like, again, questions,
Being aware, but I also think, and this is something that I know that you'll echo, and any entrepreneur that's listening, you're okay to fuck up because you've done it before. Mm-hmm. Like, this is a lot of people like, oh, I'm afraid to fail. No one's afraid to fail. Here's why. How many of you listening to this have failed before? Everybody. How many of you are like me and you failed a fuck ton of times? Like, you double fist this one, right?
Yeah.
Like, people aren't afraid to fail.
Yeah.
What we're afraid of is being judged. And so it goes back to that reality. Like, you and I realized, like, I was in a mastermind last year, paid $25K for it. Digital mastermind, a whole bunch of really smart digital people, the whole thing. I couldn't figure this one thing out. I couldn't get my my Stripe account to connect to this portal that we had put up. And I was like racking my brain. I couldn't get it figured out. And here I was part of this group with all these smart motherfuckers. And I was like, I didn't want to ask. It's like, oh shit, I'm going to be dumb. This is supposed to be simple, right? And I was Googling, I couldn't find it. I go into the group and I finally asked the question, and people are like, oh shit, I've tried to do that too. I don't know. There were like 50 people that didn't know either. So I was like, oh shit, I'm not the only one. You and I are not afraid to ask dumb questions.
Yeah.
And that's the difference, right? The real difference is people stop and they're like, I'll just keep trying and trying and trying and trying. And the definition of insanity is banging your head against the wall.
Right.
A different result. I'm not afraid to look dumb, if you will. You're not afraid to look dumb. So as an entrepreneur, I think what we have found is like, if we want this result, we're going to ask the question. If I'm at the gym and I'm telling my trainer, this is this or this is that, you know, and he gives me a solution, I'm going to get a different place than the guy who's like, oh, I'm not going to say anything because I'm going to look dumb. So you have to understand, like, when you're an entrepreneur and you're a business owner, the time frame that you spend not asking questions, not getting the answers that you need, it's insanity. It's what's keeping you back from being successful, from having whatever. You've got to, I mean, you and I are way more prone to look dumb to get the answer that we want. Yeah,
I mean, and not only that, define what dumb looks like, right? I think here's the truth is, guys, we're getting judged no matter what. You know, if you're failing, what does failing mean? Here's what's interesting about it. You're going to get judged if you're failing, which doesn't serve you, and you're going to get judged when you're rich and you're winning. That serves you. You're getting judged no matter what. It's just we put different weight on each one. Is it a negative weight or positive weight?
Yep.
The truth is, most people hate us just because we live in America. Most people hate us because we're white. Most people hate us because we have a beard. Like, who knows why they hate us? That's them judging us, not me judging them. Like, I don't have that judgment thing in my head. The only thing I do judge is people that ask questions, Sean, that don't do anything with the answers. That's an asshole, right? They're just asking questions to sound cool and be in front of people. You know the difference as you're growing and developing. Like, some people just want to ask questions to be heard without doing anything to do it, to take the action behind it. So when Sean and I are asking questions, or people like you and I, we're asking questions, we genuinely want to know the answer so we can actually go execute and get a result. And I think that's the massive difference.
Totally agree. You know, and what you just said is dead on. Is something that I talk about all the time. No matter where you go, no matter what you do, you're going to be judged. People are terrified of being judged. You're not afraid of failing. Most people listening to this have lost money before, right? So you're not really afraid of losing money because you've already done it, right? Most people have struggled with some sort of being down or depression in some way, shape, or form. You're not afraid of that. You're afraid of being judged for talking about it. What people don't realize is exactly what you just said. If you're fat, it's because you're a lazy piece of shit, right? If you're ripped, it's because you're on steroids. You got to be taking steroids, right? If you're poor, you're lazy, you're undisciplined, and if you're rich, you're selling snake oil. You're totally ripping people off. It's like no matter where you go on this spectrum of life, no matter where you're playing the game, somebody's gonna fucking judge you. Period. They're gonna judge you. Oh, he's ripped. You know how many times last year I had spine surgery? You know this. I got ripped. I did 75 hard. I took the challenge of my body, and for the first time in my life, I have a six-pack ever. He's taking steroids. He's preferred taking steroids. Every time I post a picture, steroids. And I'm like, I figured out an answer for this. You want to hear my answer next time? He's like, yo, you're ripped. It's because of steroids. If that was the case, if that was true, if steroids got you ripped, why are you still fat, bro? I asked this guy this question, and I'm like, if all it takes is sticking a needle in my ass to get my six-pack, then why are you still fat?
Yeah.
Every man in America would take that shot. That's all it took. So is it possible it's not just steroids? You start throwing logic back at him and you're like, fuck, man.
Yeah.
That could be true, right? But people are terrified of being judged.
Yeah.
You're going to be judged no matter what. You roll up in a Bentley, you roll up in a Ferrari, you roll up in a fucking Ford pickup truck. People are going to judge the shit out of you.
Yep.
Period.
Exactly.
Once you move past that and realize that and really wrap your head around that, because I was stuck in that. After I lost millions of dollars when the market crashed and the whole deal, I was terrified because I was getting, being judged and the whole thing. Then I realized, like, no matter what I fucking do, people are going to judge me anyways. So I might as well do the shit I want to do. Voila. Somehow I found happiness that way versus like trying to live this life where I'm living it based off of all these other people's rules and judgments.
Well, that's the thing is, dude, like happiness is a very funny thing, right? Like I'm chasing happiness. I'm not trying to chase the money and all that other stuff. Like, I think a lot of people are defining happiness off the wrong thing, though. Like, it's like, oh, I have a new car, I'm happy. I can tell you right now, I go buy a new car today, I'll be happy for like a nanosecond and move on.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't make me happy. It's more of it's not, again, I think people don't understand their emotions, right? You would know this way better than me, but it's an emotional thing. Like, happy to me is like when I wake up and I see my kids smiling and playing, and it has nothing to do with money or any of that stuff. Right. It has to do with like being in the moment and like being there and knowing that I'm going to push hard, like bust my ass and do the right thing and teach them the right stuff. When I'm talking with my financial guys, they're like, how much money you want to leave your kids? I'm like, dude, I don't care about leaving them money. I want to leave it in their brain. I want to instill success. I want to instill positive, affirmations. I want to instill like being a good person, open the door, say, yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. All that, to me, that's success. It has nothing to do. Money is just a tool, guy. I think people get this confused, right?
Coupons they're just fun coupons. That's all they are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And people say I'm an asshole for saying that, but it's you're dead on right. I mean, it goes back to what do you want? What do you want? Real talk, I don't want to work.
Yeah.
I don't want to work.
Who does?
I really don't. And the most dudes would be like, well, you that's impossible. You can't not work. Really? Like you said this earlier, you can build whatever you want. You legitimately can build whatever you want in this life, right?
Absolutely.
Like, you stop and think about it. Like, what do you really want? You answer that question, you find happiness. You keep living life, building shit based off of what everybody else says, what everybody else is doing, and you'll literally live a miserable fucking existence. You buy a car because homeboy bought a car, not gonna feel good. You buy a car because you want to buy a car, different racket. You know what I'm saying? But like when you answer that question, what do you really want? That's where you start getting happy. For me, I started happy where I was like, I didn't have to fit in this mold. Hustle, grind, hustle, grind, hustle, grind. I don't have to compete with Gary Vee. I don't want to work 27 hours a day, Gary. I don't. Exactly. I don't want to fucking work 29 hours a day. I don't know how you do it. I don't want that.
Yep.
Like, shit. Gary's pumping out 8,000 videos a day. I got to pump out 8,000 videos a day. Like, oh, dude, that doesn't make me happy. What makes me happy? Riding dirt bikes with my kids. Yep. Racing races. Hanging out with you. Getting a phone call going, yo, you want to go to the Virgin Islands and hang out on a yacht? I'm like, let me check my schedule. Yes, I do. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the kind of life that I want.
Yep. Yeah.
That makes me happy.
Yeah.
So build that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so many people don't have answers to that question. Like, and when they don't, that's when you get miserable. That's when you fucking get depressed because you got to do this for the mom and the dad and the family and the family's legacy and carrying everything on and all this other stuff. But like, yeah, man.
But I think it's emotional fortitude, just understanding like your emotions, like what they're telling you. Because like you said, I don't want to work today, but like it's going to get me. It's a stepping stone. I enjoy like helping people and doing all that, and I know you do too. So it's like, but like if it's like, hey, you can make $1 million and help me, or hang out with your kids. It's your last time. Like I'm hanging out with kids, dude, all day. The money would not do it. Like it's not changing anything. And I'm not saying I'm not about not having money. By the way, I want as much money as humanly possible.
Me too. I want a shit ton of cash.
Yeah. So I think it's always funny. People are like, well, I was listening to Sean and Mark, and he said it's not about the money. Well, money is a tool. Again, why else would you work hard? Why else would you take away from the things we love doing every moment? Like it's a tool.
When you get to that space, man, when you can answer that question truthfully, right? I built my businesses because it was ego, straight up. I'll just tell you. When I was in my early 20s and I was making $100,000 a month and I could walk into any jeweler and buy any Rolex that I wanted, and I walked past the Malibu dealership and I bought the freaking $150,000 ski boat, like I built it because of that, right? Like I built it purely out of ego. And being, a little further in life and having the experiences of making a lot of money and losing a lot of money, I realize now that it's not about that cash. It's about the freedom. It's about what do I legitimately want? Like, I don't want to spend 20 hours a day in an office because I can be in a magazine and look really, really cool. Like, because at some point in time, that racket's going to end. And the things that are the most important to me are not found there.
Yep.
It's not found in that. And so I answered that question. What do I want? Well, I want to live my life. Okay. What does that mean? That means I want to be able to wake up and do whatever the fuck I want every single day. I don't want to have to be accountable to a boss or to a hierarchy of sorts. Okay, cool. What does that look like? Well, I got to build my own businesses and run my own companies and be in charge of that. Cool. Well, you know what I mean? And you start going down the path of this deal. Like, what do I want financially? You know what I mean? I don't want to leave my kids a ton of shit. I don't want to have a ton of money in the bank. I don't need it, right? I want to have cash flow to be able to afford my lifestyle. My lifestyle is going to cost this. Like legitimate, like these are the conversations of like answering, what do you want? How much money do you want? Well, this is what my lifestyle is going to cost exponentially if I buy this kind of race truck versus this kind of race truck. Cool. Well, then go build that, right? Yeah. So like when you talk about the money game, dude, there's dudes that have way more fucking money than me. Andy Priscilla, dear friend, guy we both know, has way more money than me, makes way more money than me. But why are we cool? Right? You probably make way more fucking money than me. Why are we cool? Because we don't talk about that shit. We talk about life and growing and expanding and answering that question, what do we want, right? But the money aspect is like once you figure out what you want, you actually figure out what you're really good at. You enjoy that process. You're like, this is what I want. Okay, well, what kind of business does that look like? Well, it needs to look like this. Well, I really like doing this. Okay, great. Instead of it being like, I'm trying to fit my desires and my life and my dreams into my existence after I go build this, have the 401k, do all this shit that everybody else who's miserable is doing.
Sure.
And it's such a fucking hard concept for people to wrap their heads around because it's not like I don't save a ton of money. I invest a ton of money.
Yep.
Right? Like I could have put X amount of money into some long-term vehicle, but instead last year I invested in a restaurant. Right? Mm-hmm. So there's all of these moving pieces of like, what do I really want? I want to live today. I want to live today to its fullest. Does that mean I just go cash out everything? No. But what I do know is that I'm living a life that I truly love. And so I will continue to generate wealth and income because I'm doing what I truly love. Does that make sense? This is why,
dude, I get it, man. I think it does.
People like that are afraid to leave and take a risk are fucking dumb because it's like if you're good at your 9 to 5, if you went and got a degree in lighter making and you got a 9 to 5 job making lighters, it's really it's a bummer. I'm out of fucking gas here, so I got to use the old school. Anywho, like if that's what you know what I'm saying, like when you figure that out, where was I going with that? Fuck.
It's going to be a good one.
Anyways, when you get to that place where you can actually like determine what it is that you want and you're really fucking good at it, you can build that business around it.
Yep.
You can create that lifestyle. You can create the wealth. You can create the income that you want to have. And it's not about like having stacks and stacks and stacks of cash. It's like, I know that I can continue to build things because it's what I love to do. And when you live in that space, like you don't have to be accounting to somebody else and trying to do all of these things just because it's what everybody else is doing. Does that make sense?
No, it makes a ton of sense, man. I think the biggest thing is, you know, Sean, like Sean said, we know a lot of people make a lot more money than I make or he makes. Like, it's not about that. The truth is, I think you need to fail. You need to get punched in the face and realize, oh my gosh, I don't like that feeling, to keep progressing. Like, people that are successful did not just wake up and become successful. They have failed, they prodded, they figured out what they like, don't like. Like, I like cars. That doesn't mean, like, interesting thing about what we're talking about, I could buy any car I want right now with cash in my bank. I have zero desire to buy a car today. Zero. But I dream about buying a car. I still like looking at them. I still like getting excited about them, like putting it on the thought process. But like, to me, it's like, okay, I buy it. Now I got to get a new battery every year because I forget to put it in the charger. And then I got to deal with it. I put 100 miles on. Like, I don't even drive the cars I already have. You know, like, it's all this stuff. So, you know, does that make me happy? It makes me happy to buy it because it accomplished a goal, but it doesn't make me happy for the long term because it creates anxiety. Because now it's an extra thing I got to take care of. And but there's no right or wrong. It's just, what do you want? Right. You know, I'm not trying to impress Sean. I'm not trying to impress Andy. I'm not trying to impress anybody. When you really live, like, when you try to impress yourself, we actually want to hang out with each other more because we're like, dude, you know, it's like wild.
It's true. And when you talk about impressing each other, what I love about like our dynamic and the dynamic of the dudes we're talking about is you're impressed by things, but like you celebrate stuff too, man. Like when you bought your watch, right?
Yeah.
That was like a big deal. Yeah. I remember it was a big fucking deal. And it was like that, you having it be a big deal to you became a big deal to me because I'm like, my dude's winning, right? I'm like, fuck that, he's winning. Like when I show up down in Florida and we're hanging out and you pull up in the rolls and I'm like, my dude's winning, right? There's never like, oh man, Mark got that watch. Shit, man. Like that's something that people really started that conversation. I want to talk about that for a second because that's like so important, man. So important. Yep. Is looking at what your friends are doing, adding value to it, extracting value from it as much as you can, and learning and observing and whatever, but really being fucking like happy for people, like when they're winning. You know what I'm saying? And this is what's really fascinating to me in the coaching space. And I know, you know, it's like, you get a lot of people to real estate. Oh, dude, you know, they want to come in and do what you do and have what you have, but like paying the dues and doing all the other stuff, it's not necessarily where they want to be, but not really like being able to celebrate with other people. Like this is, I don't want to call it secret, one of the secrets of success, whatever, call it whatever you want, a little principle, a little nugget between, Mark and I, but like when you get really fucking grateful and really excited about other people winning, legitimately winning, dude, that elevates you into a whole new level of consciousness, a whole new level of expertise, of power, of being able to create your own shit. This is something that I'm like radically passionate about, is watching my clients win. Having them say I did this, having them say I did that. Last year I had one of the more powerful moments like of my business career with one of my clients who called me after he left IKEA. He was in IKEA and he spent $600. And he called me and he's like super emotional. He's like, dude, like the fact that I could walk in and out of IKEA and spend $600 on new furniture for my family, he's like, I've never been able to do this before in my life. Awesome. It's a dude who built a business, went through a bankruptcy, lost a lot of his mojo the way that I did. And it was that where I was like, fuck, dude, that is so dope. That is so badass. You know what I mean? And it drove me, like, just gave me like such a crazy, insane rush of like excitement for him, Something that people need to take note of is really, really, really celebrating other people's wins. There's no greater feeling, but there's no greater mojo to put into your own world than that.
Yeah, I mean, how like, why would one think that they could get, like, say if you see a successful person, but you talk shit about them 24/7, why would you think you could ever get that? Like, because if you do that, it does not connect with the dots. You're never going to have success because you're too busy talking shit about someone else. And why would you, like, you don't want that. You don't want people talking about you. So I think at the end of the day, it's like, if you're following someone and you see them post a car and you get mad, unsubscribe from them. Don't.
Totally.
They're stealing from your joy. Like, it doesn't make sense. And not only that, you need to work on yourself because, like Sean said, I want you to win. It doesn't take away from me winning if you win, by the way. There's no winning, losing in this conversation. It's how do we all win together? How do we all get a piece of pie, make the piece of pie big? Like, we can all win, and globally. Like, it's the best thing as what I've discovered and where we're at in my life is when I see someone win, dude. By the way, I don't care if it's $10 or $10 million or $100 million. Like, I'm excited because you're winning.
Dude, you buying a $100,000 watch, my dude picking up $600 worth of IKEA furniture. Like, it's when you can legitimately be in that space, man. I think it shows not only the maturity, your own personal maturity, but it shows like your real aspect of gratitude. You know what I mean, for life. Because I mean, I've had a ton of money, I've had no money, right? I've been broke, I've been on the top of the mountain. I had $1 million sitting in my bank account, I've had no dollars sitting in my bank account. You know what I mean? But like when I look at my friends and I see people win, it motivates me, it inspires me more than I say, well, shit, I want this, or I deserve this, the entire victim mentality deal. Yeah. That's something that's really, really, really powerful for me. It's something that I know that my circle of people feels the same way on. You know what I mean? Like you post a picture of me with my shirt off, for example, like tons of people, why don't you post another one? Here we are again, kind of thing. Those are a bunch of grumpy, miserable fucks. Yep. You look at who likes it. You look at who applauds it. It's the same. It's the people that have done the deal. People don't realize how hard it is to have a six-pack. To be able to keep a six-pack at 41 years old, with a fucked up body that just had spine surgery, they're like, yo.
Absolutely.
Bro, that's real shit. You did some real work there. You know what I'm saying? Being able to buy a watch, like your watch, and saying, yo, that was a big deal mentally, emotionally. It's like, I know what it takes to do that. Because I did the same thing with my race truck. It's like, oh, shit, I got to buy this race truck, and it's this much money. But if I kept it here and like overcoming a lot of these things and surrounding yourself with people that are going to celebrate your wins, really celebrate, dude. In my opinion, there's no better feeling than that. Like being able to win and having a tribe of people behind you being like, well done, bro. And legitimately meaning it. You know what I'm saying? Oh,
I mean, yes, I do. I mean, gratitude is the biggest thing. I think just being grateful to wake up. Being grateful to one thing I'm not good at is asking for Sean, even asking you to be here. Like, it's always weird to me because I don't like to call favors. And, you and I've talked about this same thing. Like, it's just weird to me because, like, dude, he's busy. We're all busy. Everyone's busy, by the way. But if we can help each other grow and get our message out and we can share, like, I want to be valuable to him. I want him, like, that's where I think it comes down to is, like, how do we, like, instead of hating, how do you create with people? How do you talk them up? How do you guide them like, hey man, I see you're faltering over here on your video. I could do that for you. Let me help you out and make it better. Or, I mean, there's so much, we all have value. And I think if you're focusing on what you don't have, you're going to constantly keep getting it.
I totally agree.
Yeah. So Sean, one thing you said is what's interesting to me real quick about this pandemic thing, this handout, this $1,200 thing. I'm absolutely mesmerized. I like sit back in awe and shock. I'm like, dude, they just gave people $1,200 that don't even know how to manage the money they make, let alone manage money they've been given. Like, I'm thinking about investing in Apple stock and Nike stock now, because what else are they going to do? They're going to buy new iPhones and new shoes.
Right.
I hope not. That's what I think is going to happen.
Oh, they're doing that. They're doing that. That ain't judgmental. That's exactly what's fucking happening.
So it's like people are complaining like, the pandemic, everything's bad. It's not working. Everyone I know is like talking about her name. She still has her job. They both got their money. They're not going out to eat and getting wasted with buddies and friends, and not to say they do it, but like they have more money than they've ever had now. My thought process is, now what are you going to do with it?
Yeah.
And that's a question you should be investing in yourself, number one. But I think it's just going to be consumer buying spree galore.
Totally, man. And I mean, look, we can go down the political rabbit hole on this and like how it works, and it's the same mentality. I don't want to say the same people. It's the same mentality of people that are like, oh, I'm getting my tax refund back.
Yep.
It's like, you do know that that's your money, right? Like, you're getting excited. Like, the government's like, yay, they're giving me money. It's like, nah, dude, that's money that's been yours that they took and used to make more money, and they're just throwing you some crumbs back. You understand that, right? It's the same mentality. The exact same people are like, yay, $1,200. I think the bigger conversation around this is really, really, really exposing. And you and I both know that you want to know where you're really playing. You want to know what you're really playing with. Like, drop your drawers. Like, look, when the tide goes out, we find out what everybody's playing with, right? Like, the fact that so many people, number one, needed and or like had to have this money from the big man to keep their life going is really fucking scary. But like, even further than that, the fact that people missed one paycheck or two paychecks and literally crumbled financially, like couldn't pay bills and shit, needed their rent paid. That's a really fucking scary thing. And that's something that beyond the $1,200 needs to be addressed in every facet. Like, if you're watching this, and I know probably not very many people are that are in that scenario, but if you are, you better step the fuck back, because now is your time to really change the game. Like, if you literally went from I think I'm good to no money and missing one or two paychecks, your problem is way fucking bigger than $1,200.
Way better.
Something that needs to be addressed here is like, how many people, even businesses, straight up, even businesses that had to like to close their door. It hasn't, bro. This hasn't even been like 6 weeks, man.
I know.
That's like a month. Yep. People are fucking freaking the fuck out in 2 weeks. Like, what does that say about you, friend? Like, if we had a real problem, like a big problem, a real pandemic, a real sickness, a real deal that lasted 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months, the fuck does that tell you? People would be screwed.
Yeah.
Screwed. You know what I'm saying? That's the thought of my mind. I said, $1,200. Did you get your check? Did you get your check? Did you get your check? I'm like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Why are you not asking questions about how do I live a life where I don't need this anymore? You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I belong to a group, and we're talking about this whole the monies and all this stuff. I didn't go for any of it, and I have a saying: just because you can doesn't mean you should. You know what I mean? And yes, maybe you could get some free money, maybe 100,000, 10,000. I don't know what the dollars are, because I didn't even look into it, because I was like, I'd rather, if there is a small business that needs it, why should I be taking the money from it? Because I don't need it. And yes, I could, but that doesn't mean I should. That's kind of my, and again, there's no right or wrong. I'm not judging it. I'm just saying that's my opinion on it. So it's like I actually feel like if you take this handout, it's almost like blood money.
You owe now. We saved your shit.
Yeah.
You owe it now.
And if $1,200 saves you guys, I mean, do you understand? $1,200 is nothing. And Sean, that you could go on Craigslist to the free section and get all this free stuff and sell it for $20 and make more than $1,200, and none of that be in control of it and do your own work and earn it and feel good about it. Like, do you feel good about taking the money, Sean?
Dude,
that's what's crazy to me.
This is a big conversation, a big thing stemming all the way back to how we believe about money, what we believe about money, like our own programming and stuff like that. But, something that I'm very, 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 that I want to add value to people's lives on is understanding of, that you have got to get your house in order. And I think what's really interesting now is those of you that are watching this that are not part of a mastermind, not part of a group, not part of a coaching deal. Yep. Every other day of the year, you hear me talk about it, you hear Mark talk about it. It's like, oh, why would I spend money on these things? Why would I don't want to spend, I just have Google, right? I can Google it. I can whatever. Like really stopping and thinking for a second, like in order to get my house in order, like I'm going to have to do some things differently. Yeah. The way that I'm doing things right now is not working if I'm really tripping over $1,200, right? And $1,200 to a lot of people, at one point in time in my life, $1,200 was a lot of fucking money, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
You're not throwing any shade to that. I'm not throwing any shade to that. But I think what's really fascinating is through this experience, it's exposed where people are emotionally, psychologically, mentally, right? And it shows like you're not reading books. You're not doing your daily study. You're not doing, you don't have your morning rituals. You're not getting your house in order. And I don't care whether you're a millionaire. I don't care if you're making $10 a year kind of deal. Like right now, that exposure, even people that are making a lot of money, like they might not have gotten their, dicks knocked in the dirt, but I'm home more. I got to be around my family more. And this is out of order. This is out of order. This isn't working right. Being able to be exposed to shit is actually really good. It's painful for a minute. When the tide goes out, you realize you got a small wiener. It's like, well, you figured that out. You know what I mean? But now you get to build something from it. Now you get to do something with it. Like exposure is not a bad thing. It's actually a really, really, really beautiful thing because it's truth. Yep. But most people are living with is total bullshit. So if you're one of these people that's going, yeah, my finances are not in order. My business owners did not have the same rainy day fund that you do as an individual, as a father, right? Yep. I got a year's worth of money in the bank. That's all I keep there. That's it. Like, I don't want a whole shit ton of cash. If you're not thinking that way too, as your business, if something happened to my business, if there was this, if there was that, if there was a fire and I had to wait 2 or 3 or 4 months for an insurance check to come in and I couldn't afford that. You know what I mean? All of these things go through your head that should go through your head. And I think that's something that's really, really, really powerful. People need to look at through this experience, not just $1,200, but business owners. Like, is my business prepared for some shit?
Yeah.
Do I have a rainy day fund? Am I in a place where like I can keep living my life if like the bus stopped for a couple of minutes? You know what I mean?
Yeah. And with what's going on, you're like Sean said, you guys are realizing your vulnerabilities, your weak points. We're not judging it. You're just bringing awareness to it and then saying, hey, I don't like this feeling. How can I not have this feeling again? Well, I need to level up my financial, prosperity. I need to understand profit first mechanism. I need to have the rainy day fund or whatever. I need to prepare, expect the best, prepare for the worst. That's what you're should be doing. Right. So I do know, like, I remember guys in business, I mean, they're like, oh man, if this deal doesn't happen, I'm done. It's like, if one deal is going to make or break you, you don't have a business first and foremost. No.
Like if one paycheck doesn't come and you're broke way before that, friend.
Yeah.
You're broke before that. Like, trust me, like living paycheck to paycheck, I've done it. I get it. It's a fucking terrible existence. It's a terrible, terrible, terrible existence. I'm not judging you. I'm telling you that because I did it and I fucking hated it, right? There's so much anxiety, so much stress. If you're living that way Monday through Friday, every other day of the week, outside of the pandemic bullshit, you know what I mean? Now's the time to really buckle down and understand where your weak points are, what you don't know. If you don't know about money, fucking ask.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a lot of people that do. I didn't know how to plug in this thing on my website, and I asked, and all of a sudden I solved the problem, right? Like it's there's no nobility, and I say this in the book, there's no nobility in being broke.
None.
No nobility in being broke. There's nothing noble about running around and saying, I'm broke, everybody feels sorry for me, right? If you're in that spot, open up your fucking mouth, man. Let's get the tide out. Let's figure out what you're really playing ball with, and then you can build something new.
And not only that, like people, like Sean wants to help. We genuinely want to talk about it and help you. It's not like we're trying to embarrass you. Actually, you're already embarrassed. So I don't need to embarrass you anymore. You're already embarrassed. That's why it's happening. Now it's like, okay, how are we taking this embarrassment? Are we going to do something about it, or are you just going to keep staying in that cycle?
Yep.
I personally move. I don't like the feeling like that because I've felt like that before. So it's like, it's how do I get out of it? Well, who do you need to become? If you knew the answer, by the way, you'd be out of it already. You don't know the answer. It's okay to say, hey, I don't know the answer. Who do I need to become to get the answer? Well, I need to be a better ask questions to people. I need to, get around people that are actually where I want to be financially. That doesn't mean they're all the way around where you want to be, but maybe financially they are. So it's like you can learn from these people. And how do you this is the muscle you need to develop if you want to grow. Sean, I have a call, last week I've had calls. Actually, during the pandemic, I actually tightened down even myself. And I'm kind of tight with stuff already, but it just brings awareness. Yep. Hey guys, okay, are we weak anywhere? If we are, let's talk about it. Not let's avoid it. Let's talk about it. And my conversations go like, I have no clue what's going on. Can you please educate me? And there's 3 people on the phone and I'm getting all perspectives. And I'm like, okay, Bryce, is that right? Okay, Mike, are you cool with that? Does that make sense? Or are we on the same page? What question should I ask that I'm not asking? I don't know. If I knew, I'd ask. Yep. So it's like, I think we have to get better with this. And I think this is a great time where you're realizing no one has a clue. Very few people have a clue.
What you just wrote, I don't know where I'm pointing. I know I'm pointing at my screen here. But what you just wrote down, people need to write that shit down right now. Like, write down, who do I need to become?
Right.
Like, write that down right now, and here's why. That mentality, thought I put my phone on silent. That question, dude, will change your life.
Yeah.
It'll change your life. My buddy and I were in Laguna Beach. We were walking along the beach, $26 million house for sale. And we had this exact conversation. I know this is why we talk about this. Success leaves clues, right? Mark and I are saying the same thing, asking the same question, talking about the same shit. Write this shit down, friends. Like, we're looking at this house, and mathematically, you know how easy it is to buy a $26 million house? It's just math. I can give my daughter a calculator and say, okay, what's 20% down? Okay, it's this. What's the 6% mortgage rate over 30 years? What's the simple interest payment? Da, da, da. Like, mathematically, it's super fucking simple to buy a $100,000 watch, to buy a $500,000 car, to buy a $26 million house. If you stop and really think about it, it's just math.
Yep.
You can get somebody that's totally broke and get a 10-year-old to figure that out, how to actually buy it. The question that we were talking about, what came up is, who do I have to become to buy a $26 million house? When you start focusing on that, instead of saying, I need $26 million,
yep,
you start saying, I need to become the person that lives in a $26 million house. Who do I have to become to be able to do whatever I want, whenever I want?
Mm-hmm.
Who do I have to become to be able to literally work 2 hours a day and make 7 figures? Yep. Who do I have to become? Because here's the deal. It's been done. This is like the old school story of the 4-minute mile. You can't run a 4-minute mile, then all of a sudden one motherfucker does, and then everybody does, right?
Yep.
Like, there are people building businesses that allow them, provide them, produce a lot of income, and they can work 2 hours a day. It is possible, friend. Like, oh, it can't be done. People are doing it. You're doing it. I'm doing it. The real question that people need to focus on, which do that question that you just wrote down here on the screen, probably the most important thing that people can do is become the type of person. We were talking about, what does the guy who drives into a $26 million house drive?
Yep.
What does he do every day? What books does he read? What kind of food does he eat? When does he work out? Where does he work out? Like, what type of human being is he? When you start thinking that way and you could become that person, I don't say this in jest, and I pray to God it never happens, but if I lost everything, gone, done,
yep,
like $0 in the bank, within a year I'd have it all back.
And some.
Because I've become the person that has built this, right? Mm-hmm. It didn't happen by luck. It happened by hard work, by becoming that type of person. You know what I'm saying? If you really stop and think about that question, one of the most powerful questions human being, who do I have to become to have a 6-pack?
Yep. Yep.
That was a real fucking question. What do I have to do emotionally, psychologically, mentally to overcome all the bullshit stories that I told myself about having fat parents, about having, genetics? I don't have good genetics. I told all the stories for 40 fucking years.
Yep.
I always told stories. 6-packs are for other dudes, skinny dudes, like athletes, whatever. I'm just going to have dad bod. I'm strong and I can run. I've had 5 MMA fights. I've done 2 Ironmans. Who do I have to become? And dude, I did it. After a spine surgery with a fucked up body, the whole thing. And all of a sudden it's like, oh shit, it's not about the lifting the weights. It's not about the $26 million house. It's about becoming the type of person that would live in that house, because you become that, and then you can buy a $26 million house. Yep. You become the person who can build the body, and then all of a sudden you build the body, right? And so any aspect of your life, whether it's relationships, who do I have to become to have a really, really, really good relationship? Who do I have to become to have connection and trust? Who do I have to become to be present in my kids' lives, to be friends with my kids? You start thinking that way, dude, game changes. Game fucking changes.
And not only that, getting around people that you can mirror that are actually doing it. Sean, when we were on the yacht, right? Like, I think I have a workout guy, I'm working out, and we finally could get off the yacht and go work out at a gym. And then we're in the gym. Like, if you think you work out hard, go with someone that works out hard. You get a different workout, right? And same thing with like the way their cadence to work. Like, how am I able to get more done in 3 hours than most people get done in 30 days? My cadence of work, who I'm talking about to, like, boom, boom, it's just different. Yep. So it's like, dude, I'm working my butt off. Okay, what? No, I don't know what that means. Yep. Hey, man, I'm hitting the gym hard. What does that mean? You go in there, you're on your cell phone for 60 minutes of the 65 minutes of the hard work. Like, what does it mean? But you got to get around people that will push you, right, Sean? I mean, you need to come.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, if you're the best golfer in your foursome, you're in the wrong foursome, right? If Absolutely. You're the richest dude in the room, you're in the wrong freaking room. That's why, again, I love hanging out with people that are doing more than me. My trainer, he's a bodybuilder, like fucking on stage, crazy shit. His wife is number 3 in the world. She took 3rd in the Mr. Olympia, right? Like, awesome. The dude he's light years above me in the fitness game. That's why I want to work with him, right? My coaches, the people that I work with, like, they're answering questions that I don't have the answers to, and that's the reason that I work with them. That's the reason that I hire them. That's the reason that I pay them. You know what I'm saying? But there's so many people, like, who do I have to become to be a good student, right? Like, a lot of people have this misconception about lions, not sheep, and it's just, rawr, go out there. At one point in time, you're a cub. Like, you're a little pup. You're a little kitten, right? A little lion kitten, and you got to follow somebody. You got to learn how to hunt. You got to do all these things. And the very best leaders have mastered the art of following. And they understand, like, that's what it takes. Yep. Level up. You go to a new jungle, a new spot. You're going to learn from somebody that knows the terrain, that knows the ground, that knows how to hunt here, right? Same thing in business. You want to live in a $26 million house, don't go talk to your $50,000 uncle. Go talk to a dude who lives in a $26 million house. Yep. That's how the game is played, right? Well, who do I have to become to have this? Who do I have to become to live like this? Yep. Who do I have to become to look like this? Yeah. Those questions, bro, game over.
It's game over. And with action behind it.
Exactly. Right.
But the thing is, the truth is, action follows that, because that's a conversation. That's another, like, you're asking a higher level conversation. So you are going to do the action because that's the next question you'd ask yourself. Okay, now that I know who it is, now what action do I need to take to get that result? Well, you got to hire them. The real truth too, Sean, like everything, you're buying time.
Oh, God.
We're buying time. Like, Sean's trainer, my trainer, Christian, he's been a professional trainer his whole life, like bodybuilder and all that. What he knows in his brain, I could pay him $100 an hour or whatever it is, and literally I could learn what I need to learn within 1 hour.
Yep. Dude,
for $100.
And like with coaching, you and I probably combined have done more real estate deals than everybody on here times 10. And I don't say that to be a dick. I say it because you and I have been wildly fucking successful in the real estate game. Okay. Mm-hmm. People ask me all the time, I want to get into real estate. How do I do it? I'm like, my answer is the exact same across the board. 100 out of 100 times. You will never see me answer a different way. Hire a coach. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, but there's books, and I read Robert Kiyosaki, and I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, fuck off. Hire a coach. Here's why. Time. Like, the amount of money that I lost, the deals that I learned from, whether it was a rehab, whatever it was, you investing in knowledge literally shortens the gap between where you are to success. I could go Google and go to the gym and work out on my own and curls for the girls and do all these other things, and I might get where I'm going or where I want to be, right? Or I go to a coach and say, here's where I want to go, can you build me the map to get there? Yes or no? And if they say yes, here's my money, let's go. And I'm going to get there because this is a person that's already done it. This is something even business owners don't understand. A lot of business owners, like the really, really, really smart motherfuckers, there's a line item in their expenses for coaching.
Absolutely.
It's luxury. It's not a, well, maybe when I get there, this is so important to me. Like my body is so important to me. I don't give a fuck what it costs. Like right now, I'm in a gym. I'm literally getting off this. I'm going to a gym, but all the gyms are shut down, right? Because this scamdemic. I had to throw the scam, right? And whatever. Well, where's the Sean? I needed the gym. It is so ruthlessly like ingrained in my daily action. When they shut my gym down, I'm like, fuck the park. Yeah, I got equipment. I want a gym. It's mental for me. It's what I got to do. And I created that reality. I just spent a bunch of money to do it. I did it, right?
Nice.
I don't say it to brag or to boast. It's like when you get to that space where you realize, like, I want to get here. I want to continue my journey. I want to continue to level up. Like, I need people. I need a coach because they're going to shorten that gap and they're going to help me get where I need to be.
Absolutely. With
a lot less expenditures lost, without losing as much money, banging my head against the wall, risking my marriage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's something. I mean, there's so few things in life that I'm as adamant about, and coaching is one. It's not just because I'm a coach.
Yeah.
It's not because it's part of my business. Like, you make way more money in the real estate game than you do coaching. Correct?
Dude, coaching dollar for dollar and time is my least productive thing I do.
Right.
Profitable thing, but it's my most rewarding thing I get to do.
Exactly.
You know, so it's like I have to do it because I enjoy it, and it like fulfills a void for me. Like, I can help people. I can really, and I become great friends with these guys. I mean, really, really amazing friends. And
you watch people go from like Ford Pinto, 20 miles an hour in the real estate game to like, whop, they're flying. And it's not because you got some mystical, magical thing. It's like, this is how I've done it. This is where I went wrong. This is what works. Copy what works. And all of a sudden they do it. It's like fast track. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And then then you always have those students. It's like, don't do that. And then they have to do it to prove to themselves that I was right. We all have students like that, clients. So, but that's what it's about. So, Sean, I know we're going here for an hour. Do you have like a minute for a couple questions, or you got to go? I'm cool with it.
Good. I don't have to be at the gym for an hour. There are very few. I will tell you this, man. There are very few people. Like, my morning ritual is paramount to me. One of them is to study and to smoke a cigar, enjoy. I wish I could turn my computer on. Beautiful sunrise happening here in Utah. The whole thing. We're talking, bro. I'm on the DM show, bro. Like, I don't get up at 6:30 for anybody. So let's talk, homie.
All right, man. Do you guys have any questions? Sean, we have a couple people. We have a decent amount of people here, but if you guys have any questions and you want to hop on the show here and ask Sean directly, and now's your chance. But Sean, I love the scamdemic, man. That's cool. I've never heard that yet, but
you know, and I think you brought it up a couple times, and we haven't really gotten into it. I don't know anything. You don't know anything. Yeah. I got smart people. You got smart people. I got people that I know that are in the government. I got buddies that are special forces, military, blah, 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 blah. I have no specific insight knowledge. You know, the one thing I will say, though, and this is really the first for me, is I love going deep. Like, I like asking the why. I like going behind the scenes, right? Like, I don't typically take things at face value. Like, I'm not the person that reads a headline and like, oh, my God, the world's ending. I better lock my doors. I'm like, what? Let's talk about it. Right? You know what I'm saying? But this is the first time where I'm like, I don't know who wins with this. I don't know what's behind it.
Yeah.
We could Bill Gates, blah, 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 whatever. But like,
thank you, Joe.
What's dope, though, is like seeing it, having the tide go out, watching how many people are exposed. I'm a fan, I guess is the best way to say it, is I don't know what's behind it. I don't care about the theories and the hypotheticals, whatever. I'm a fan because, like, this woke a lot of people up. I'm all about change. I'm all about revolution. I'm all about, like, making things bigger, better, faster, stronger. I don't think anybody would disagree that our system, our culture, our way of doing things is not necessarily happening, like, right? So this has been a really cool experience this last 5, 6, 7 weeks. It's a really cool experience.
I mean, what I think is the coolest about dude, we're in history. This is in the history books forever. And it's allowed a lot of people to connect at different levels. I mean, I think it's created a lot of vulnerability as well, but it's a changing of the guards. I mean, you're reorganizing and, like, wow, This is not what I thought life would look like anymore. So it's like a lot of cool stuff is happening, man. I think it's I think a lot more good than bad can come from it. I hope.
And why am I the only one smoking a cigar? I thought this was a cigar show.
I can't light up in the house. I was gonna be in the garage, but it's still light. Dude, I got the landscapers here. It's like loud. I was like, if I light up in the house, I'll be outside of the house for the rest of the day.
But guys, how many of y'all think that was a terrible fucking excuse? I mean, we're on the cigar show. Cigar coffee, and I'm the only motherfucker smoking a cigar.
I got one in my hand. I just can't light it. Have you ever thought about selling real estate in New York? Blah, 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 blah. And the real estate agents make $1 million a house. Wait, agents make millions per house. That's not true. But no agents are making millions of dollars per house to sell them.
Yeah.
Who coaches you to help? Mike's
Can I say
asking
something that really quick?
Yeah.
And here's something really, really interesting to think about, right? Like the question is, if you're thought selling real estate, I'm on Long Island in the East, construction, real estate agents, right? Most people would go, really? What? How do I get in? Like, I don't do that. Like, I don't chase, my mind chases squirrels and whatever, but something to be really, really, really like knowledgeable of is there's a lot of people making a lot of money in a lot of different things, right? And I think what a lot of people do is they're constantly, you see this with some people, right? They're constantly chasing the new thing. Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, what's that? Next thing you know, Facebook. Everybody's a cryptocurrency expert, right? They chase this and they go over here. They really don't know shit about it, so they detour from what they're good at, what their foundation is, and I think you'd agree with this.
Yeah.
We talk all the time about how creating other sources of income. And you don't have to light your cigar. I don't want D yelling at me. You made Mark smoke at the house. But something that's really important to contemplate on this question is ensuring that you've got a foundation, right? Ensuring that you've got a business that's spitting out. My suggestion for all my clients is that you have the ability to have a business that spits out 2x whatever your monthly nut is, right? If you're a small business, that's $10K a month. I want to make $20,000 a month, right? Then you can start having the liberty to buy stock and do this and do that, whatever. But there's a mentality around that I think is really dangerous for a lot of people is, oh shit, I better go over here because this is where everybody's making money. And then all of a sudden it shifts and then they go over here and you're spending your entire life trying to find out the big deal instead of creating the big deal.
Yeah.
I mean, most real estate moguls didn't start in real estate. They started in a different business. They did this, and then they started investing in real estate. You know what I'm saying? So just by way of thought on that question, I think it's super important for people to understand that.
And not only that, don't discount the fact that, let's say if the guy was making $1 million a deal, which is highly unlikely per deal, like it's just not, I mean, they're getting 3 to 5%. You're not getting a full boat, 6%, 7% on a $50 million house. But let's just say if he was, you're taking the fact away that that's what he loves to do. That's his unique ability. He's spent the last 25 years doing it, building up the relationships, building up the rapport. You're not going to get someone off the street that's going to hand you $40 million for a house if you're a dipshit that's never done anything.
Yep.
So it's like, I think too many people are over exaggerating where, you can't be there overnight. And not only that, I truly, and I'm not saying this because I don't care what anybody's doing. I care what I'm doing.
Well, and that's why you're successful. That's why I'm successful. And I don't say it to be a dick. It's because I'm focused on my lane.
Yeah.
I'm focused on my lane. I get hit up. Dolph DeRoos wrote one of the Rich Dad, Poor Dad books way back in the day when I owned a mortgage company. I went to him and I wanted to do all of his mortgages, right? Anyways, I was sitting in his office in Phoenix one day and he said something to me that I'll never forget. He said, Sean, the deal of a lifetime comes across my desk once a week. Yeah. Like I see the deal of a lifetime once a week. When I was doing real estate, heavy when we were back in the Midwest and we were buying in Detroit and Ohio and the whole deal. I would get all kinds of deals, right? I knew what my bread and butter was. I knew what my box was. I knew that ideal deal. I knew what the acquisition cost was, what the rehab cost was. I knew the zip code I needed. I knew all that shit. But I would get all sorts of deals thrown my way. And I passed on all of them that didn't fit in my box. Well, Sean, that's dumb. This is a great deal. It might be a great deal, Fred. It probably is. In fact, it looks like it's a great deal. But when you become that ruthless to like your own deal, your own model, your own market, your own marketing, your own business, like that's how you build wealth. That's how you build a real solid foundation. Doesn't mean that you can't do those deals eventually, but getting that foundation really fucking set, without question, the most important thing that you'll do.
No, I agree, man. We did that in our company and it changed the game a long time ago. Because I used to be a whore, man. I would do any deal that made money.
Yep.
And I was chasing. And the problem is I was wore out, beat up, and people knew they could call me and nickel and dime me because I would take the deal no matter what.
Yep.
Like, hit Evans up, he'll buy it no matter what, you know? So, but now it's funny too, Sean, like people send me a deal of the lifetime and I'm like, nah, I'm just not interested. You're not a real investor. Then I'm like, all right, cool. Like,
see, man,
whatever.
By the way, I'm in the pool smoking a cigar right now. Fuck off.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hey, Kathy's asking, what are the top 3 books, Sean, you'd recommend to improve mindset and become who you want to be? Well, how to make shit happen, right? Is one of them.
Yeah, my book, obviously, I mean, real talk. I'm not saying that it's that there's a reason I wrote on the cover, make more money, get in better shape, create epic relationships, control your life. Like, that's what I wrote on here because it's literally what I use to build what I've got right now. But I think, I mean, As a Man Thinketh is my #1 book.
Great book.
Kathy, if you haven't read that, like, just start there. Like, I could give you 1,000 books, right? Yeah. Like, people ask me all the time, what books should I read? All of them.
Yeah. Exactly.
Read all of them. I read books I've got literally stacks and stacks and stacks of books all over my house. I'm reading books. I mean, trust me, I'm lying. Confessions of a Media Manipulator. I mean, I saw it on Amazon. It looked good. I'm reading, Ralph Waldo Emerson. I got books fucking everywhere, right? Read all of the books, #1. #2, there isn't a book out there that's going to, like, make you who you want to be, right? These are just all a book is in As a Man Thinketh, it talks about your mind being a garden, and I'm a firm believer in this. Like, I just want to plant good seeds. My goal in reading every single day is not to, like, solve world hunger or whatever, make $1 billion. It's to just plant good seeds. Yep. So if you're reading a book, whether it's about religion, marketing, sales, sex, politics, whatever, you're planting good seeds. You know what I'm saying? Yep. It's that action. Again, it's not a book that's going to say, go do this, and you go do it. It's going to be answering the question that Mark asked earlier, which is, what do you want? And you answer that question, what do you want? And all of a sudden you got really good seeds in here that are producing good fruit. Now all of a sudden you can, like, go do what it is that you want. You know what I mean? I think a lot of people look to books as this, like, here's what it's going to give me everything. Sean, is your book going to help me? Every book would fucking help you. Yep. Every book would help you, right? People ask me this all the time. Sean, could the Lion's Den help me? Well, if bettering your life helps you, then yes, right? Can this book help you? Absolutely. Can this book help? Absolutely, right? That mentality of constantly putting good seeds is what's going to help you become motivated and help you become who you want to be. It's not one book per se. Does that make sense?
No, man, 100%. I have literally books galore. I have books coming here almost daily. Yeah. Like you said, it's all kinds of stuff from buying businesses to becoming a better dad, a better husband, about, everything. Like, it's like we've got to learn from a book all the time. Books changed my life, man. I never read a book until I graduated high school. They're all good ones. Do you think it's best to focus your learning energy on one type of income at a time to be successful? Small business, real estate, stock, etc.
100%. 100%. You have to have a foundation. Yep. You show me somebody who's really successful. You show me a millionaire. You show me a billionaire. I'll show you somebody with a core business.
Yep. Always.
This is where they make a chunk of their money. This is their core business. Yeah, they might own this and this and this and this and this and this. Every successful person, every successful millionaire, investor, whoever you want to talk to, has a core business. Yep. And when you master that core business, when you become, like, really fluid in it, really successful in it, then you can start to branch out. So the answer is absolutely focus on one that makes you very, 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 very wealthy, and then you can do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah, I mean, Sean, like, what I think people forget is, like, when they see you and I, like, we've been doing business for 20, probably longer than some people have been alive watching us.
Right.
I think don't take for granted time, you guys. Listen, we're all trying to get there quicker. By the way, I'm here, and I'm like, I kind of missed back in the day the hard grind of, like, learning it, and, like, I miss those days because it's very, like, I love the journey. Right. You got to fall in love with the journey for sure. Right. But, like, I think if you see what Zillow is today, Zillow wasn't that 10 years ago. It was a website for an opt-in page. That's it. Right. Like, there's an evolution process that happens when you start discovering, hey, this is my path. Okay, I'm not good here, but I'm really good here. Okay, I'm good here. Like, this is awareness, what we're talking about. This is understanding, what do I want, and being aware and being grateful, and just, hey, at least today I got to keep my lights on today. What's next? Yep. And then you grow from this, and then, well, hopefully you grow from this is the goal. And then you wake up 10 years from now and you're like, oh my God, I built what? Like, dude, I look, Sean, what I make in a week is what I dreamt about making in my lifetime back in the day. You know, so it's like if I was trying to make that in a year, let alone a week back then, I would have never got started because it had been so massively over the top. I think that's why a lot of people fell is they don't even know if they're closer to they're like running the race without a timer and without a distance.
Yep.
You're running your ass off and you don't even know where you're running to.
It's 100%, man. It's 100. Like I share this story over and over and over again. Last year, December, it's the same thing every year, right? You hear all those people like, oh, dude, 2018 sucked ass. 2019 is going to be my year. You're like, you said that last year and the year before. What's going to change, right? It's always the same. It's a dude who puts a picture of a Lamborghini up on his vision board. He's like, dude, I'm going to buy it. I was like, cool, man, how you going to do it? I'm a hustle. I'm a grind. And I spent 10 seconds looking at the Facebook page, and it was like every other post was hustle, grind, hustle, grind, hustle, grind. Like, well, looks like you already are. So, like, what are you going to do different? Like, well, how are you going to buy this car, bro? And his response to me was, why do you have to be a dick? And here's the reason he said that is because he didn't have a plan. He didn't know how he was going to do it. He was just going to hustle and grind until magically he had $300K and he was going to write a check for this thing. The difference between that guy and the guy that'll actually have the Lamborghini is the guy with the Lamborghini. He says, all right, I'm going to buy it in 6 months.
Yep.
That means I need to make X amount over 6 months, this much per quarter, this much per month, this much per week, all the way down to like this much per day.
Yeah.
Right? And the dude who gets the Lambo is focused on getting this per day.
Absolutely.
Surprise, surprise, in 6 months, you all of a sudden have it when you're focused on making $1,000 a day or whatever the math is. Now all of a sudden you got the cash to buy the Lambo, or the other dude's still banging his head against the wall trying to fucking buy the car.
He's hustling and grinding. he's hustling and grinding memes or whatever they're called.
Exactly.
Yeah. Hey, well, this pandemic put a lot of good deals in the housing market due to foreclosure.
I have no fucking clue.
No clue either.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know that I've made a lot of money in an up market and I've made a lot of money in a down market. And I think if you become an expert in some sort of aspect of real estate, it doesn't fucking matter.
I agree.
There's so many people that are like, oh, I'm going to go buy all this Delta stock. I'm going to go buy all this shit. And all the dude, these are the same people that last year were talking about cryptocurrency. I don't know where the market's going to go. No one really does. Will the market go down? Absolutely. Because it always fucking does. There's always an ebb and there's always a flow. But most of the time people are like, oh shit, the market's down. But I wish I had, how many times have you seen this in the last 4, 5, 6 weeks? Man, if I had money right now, I'd be buying stocks. Yeah, well, here's the thing. Everybody says that. Yep. The question is, what are you doing all the rest of the year? Are you stocking up? Are you cashing in? Are you like making dough so that when the opportunity does come? Again, to answer this question, get yourself in a position right fucking now so that when the market does, the bubble does burst, the market does go down, you got dough. You got money. Instead of focusing on where's the market. You know how many people that have a fuck ton of money are thinking about that right now?
Yep. None.
Not very many. Want to know what they're talking about? My cash. What am I doing today? Where am I at right this second?
100%.
There. Because they got the dough, now they can act. So become the person that has the cash, so when the market goes up, you can make a move. When the market goes down, you can make a move.
Absolutely. Yeah, Jason, don't be chasing the opportunities. The opportunities are there already. It's like, first of all, people are in foreclosure now. You know, build a business around you, not around the situation.
Yep.
And I think that's where a lot of people get messed up, guys. I don't chase money. I've never been in the short sell game, the foreclosure game. I build a real business and there's always opportunity.
Right. If somebody brought you a foreclosure today or in 6 months, you're going to be in a position to be able to move on it because you have that foundation, right? Exactly. I've never thought this way. Like, you know, when an opportunity came, when the market crashed, I went, I moved, I made moves, right? The market's here, the market's there. It's like, I have no idea what exactly is going to happen in the next 6 months. I'm just trying to make it through to lunch. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to keep myself alive till lunch. If I make it to lunch, I'm like, yes, all right, let's go to dinner now. Let's try to make it to dinner. You know what I mean?
That's awesome, man. Sean, real quick, what's been the biggest takeaway for you for the 6-pack journey? Because I'm on the process as well. Like, what's your big? Yeah.
It's I talk to people about 75 hard. It's without question the hardest thing I've ever done. And I don't say that because Andy's my homie. I got no skin in the game. I got no ownership of it. It's not my deal. I don't get a royalty, a fee, a kick, nothing, right? I went through a really, really, really nasty breakup, ending of a relationship that I loved dearly and wanted, and went through a spine surgery, went through like a really, really, really shitty part of my game the last, a little bit over a year ago. And I needed something that really stretched me, like that really, really, really pushed me. 75 hard did it. Yeah. What people don't realize is how you get fads, right? These fad diets, and people will lose 100 pounds and they gain it back, and they lose 100 pounds and they gain it back, right? It's because they're not committed to the emotional change, to the neurological change. It's just a fad. You starve yourself, you lose weight, and you go right back. I wanted to change my brain. I wanted to fucking change the way I thought. I wanted to change my stories. Like, both of my parents were overweight. Like, there's nobody in shape in my family. I got fat genes, right? I love sugar. I smell sugar. Like, somebody bring me wherever that sugar is, right? I'm a fat kid at heart. So trust me, like, yesterday when we were driving home, we stopped at the gas station to get drinks. I was like, shit, let's grab some of those fucking Cinnabons. And I ate the shit out of them, right? But, like, understanding that the mental game of fitness is just like the mental game of a relationship. It's just like the mental game of money. It's not easy to make a ton of money. It's not. It's not easy to be an entrepreneur. You know how much easier it is to sit at a fucking desk and just get a check every 2 weeks? That's easy. Going out and building something, like taking on your body, the amount of discipline that it takes to, like, not eat shit when, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Cinnabon, but the truth is I already got the six pack. I've built the body. I've tested myself. I know what I can, what I can't do. And I've gone into that space where, like, I went over those hurdles, right? It sounds really funny, but it's like the same thing growing a beard, right? You start growing a beard, you get to that itchy phase, and most dudes will shave it off. Yeah. You gotta get past that really fucking uncomfortable stage, and then you can grow a big beard. That place where, like, you've never gone this far in building a body, and then all of a sudden you get to the other side, you're like, shit, I literally changed my entire life. I changed my mindset. I changed my being. It's the same thing in business. It's the same thing across the board, right? Yeah, what I love about it is like seeing it because, you know, like, again, you're posting pictures. And, guys, if it doesn't inspire you, it's because you're mad at yourself. Exactly. You know, it has nothing to do with Sean. But when you see that, like, dude, why can't I do that then? If he can, why can't I? What do I need to do? Who do I need to hire? What do I need to eat? What does his days look like? Who do I have to become? Yeah. Who do I have to become? And, you know, as we're doing it, can do it, I can do it. If Mark Evans can become a millionaire, I can become a millionaire. When you start thinking that way, it's not impossible. Fat people have gotten six packs. Yep. Lots of them. I don't have an excuse. My back hurts. I got a torn rotator. I got a fucking trashed my body, right? I've broken damn near every bone. I've blown out both my knees. I've had surgery, had spine surgery. What's my excuse? Yeah. I don't really have one. Right. You go into that mental depth, that's how you change the game. Well, it's taking responsibility for everything, good and bad, right? I think we're good at taking responsibility. Say, I did that. Yay, I got a trophy. I'm the one. And then when it's bad, you know, you're overweight. It's like, yeah, I have fat parents. I love sugar. It's not my fault. It just is what it is. Right. You know, we've all been there. Cool, man. Hey, do you think the rules of consumer behavior will change after the situation? Yeah, but eventually, you know, I think this is a bigger deal than anything else we've experienced. I think this is going to change the game in a lot of ways, but I had this thought yesterday. It's literally just going to unwind. I mean, literally, I could show you right now. There's just traffic going up and down my street. It's like normal rush hour morning traffic. People are already at the game. Like, we're ready to be normal again, right? Yeah. Most people are going to go back to their same lazy ways, their same predictive patterns, their same whatever. You know what I'm saying? This will change the game in a lot of ways, though. I don't think it'll be as notable as we'd like to think, but I definitely think subconsciously this changes things in a major way. Yeah. So only time will tell, right? Mm-hmm. I think a lot of times people want to talk about theory and thoughts and what could happen. Truth is, no one really knows. Right. I mean, I can tell you on our side, we want everyone to be better. We want everyone to prepare stronger. It's not like we're praying that it goes back to the same. There's obviously an issue, and hopefully their internal issues, they fix it and get better and become better out of it. Totally agree. So, well, Sean, we have a lot more stuff, man. I could talk to you all day, as you know, buddy. But I know I appreciate you being here, Sean. Where can people follow you and get on your email list, and also check out Lions Not Sheep? Go to just SeanWhalen.com, just my name, and you can find me there. Everything's on my website, lionsnotsheep.com. Okay. If you have a phone and you're somewhere on the internet, I'm not hard to find. Exactly. Yeah. So, Sean, you're over 1 billion views now, right? On pretty close. That video I just shared the other day, it's got like 400,000 views or something. Just that one the other day. So yeah, things are good, man. They're moving along. Awesome, man. Well, I appreciate your time, buddy. Thank you for you smoking a cigar while I hold one. Yeah, I know you're gonna go outside right now and get it up.
Appreciate your help, buddy. Thank you for being
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you. Thanks, Mark.
Thank you, man. Beacon can end broadcast now somehow, I think.
You got to just push a button or something.
Yeah, Beacon, you in the broadcast, buddy?
All right, bro. I got a jam. I'm going to the gym.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.